General Hospital spoilers indicate that Dr. Portia Robinson, Brooke Care, is under the thumb of Drew Quartermain, Cameron Matheson. Drew is blackmailing Portia with proof that she doctored the test results of Heather Weber, Allie Mills. Portia went to Ava Jerome, Maura West, for guidance, and Ava wants to help Portia. She suggested that Portia consult with Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, but Rick has told Portia that she could not only lose her job if Drew exposes her, but she could face prison time because she interfered in a criminal investigation. It is only a matter of time before Portia and Ava could cook up something to keep Drew from exposing the truth. Ava would suggest to Portia that they need to frame Drew for murder to get him out of the way. At first, Portia would not understand, thinking that they are going to kill someone, which would be out of the question. Ava would tell her that they aren't going to kill anyone, but they could frame Drew for a crime that was already committed. They could frame Drew for the murder of Cyrus Renault, Jeff Kober, indicating that he set up his own brother, Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, for the crime. Portia would be reluctant at first, but Ava would insist it would be the only way to get Drew out of the way, so he could not expose her. Ava would start to gather evidence to implicate that Drew was the one who murdered Cyrus, and not Jason. Drew would want the person who killed Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, dead, and Ava could start to plant the seed that Cyrus threatened Scout Quartermain, Cosette Abinate, and that Drew had a couple different motives for wanting Cyrus dead. Ava would recruit a reluctant Portia to help her pull this off. Not to mention, Drew and Jason are twins and have the same DNA. The DNA found at the cabin could also be Drew's and not Jason's. Anna Devane, Finola Hughes would quickly realize this and start to put the pieces together from the trail that Ava and Portia set up. There is the issue that Jason indicated that Drew was his alibi for Cyrus's murder. This is actually something that Ava and Portia could actually use to their advantage. They could spin this and say that Drew intended to frame Jason for the crime all along, and that having Jason name Drew as his alibi was part of his plan. That way Drew could be the one who put the final nail in the coffin and watch Jason get arrested. But now the pieces are falling together, and Anna has to arrest Drew. Anna arrests Drew for Cyrus's murder, shocking everyone. Ava and Portia would celebrate their victory, and they would then try to get a hold of the test results and destroy them while Drew is detained. That way, no one would ever be able to expose the truth. Drew would be out of the way for now, and not able to expose Portia's secrets. What do you think? Will Portia agree to frame Drew for Cyrus's murder? Do you think that Ava and Portia will frame Drew for Cyrus's murder? Will Drew get arrested? Keep watching General Hospital, weekdays on ABC, to find out. And don't forget to check back right here for all your latest General Hospital information, news, and spoilers. Port Charles is about to be rocked to its very foundation as a deadly scheme unfolds in the shadows, and two unlikely conspirators may be pulling the strings. In a shocking twist that no one saw coming, Ava Jerome and Dr. Portia Robinson find themselves tangled in a dangerous web of deceit, and at the center of it all is the cold-blooded murder of Cyrus Renault. But what's even more jaw-dropping? They're framing Drew Cain to take the fall, and no one sees it coming until it's almost too late. The death of Cyrus Renault sends shockwaves through Port Charles. For months, he's been lurking in the background, quietly manipulating from the shadows, threatening anyone who dared cross him, from Sonny Corinthos to Laura Collins. But when his lifeless body is discovered in an abandoned warehouse, it's immediately clear this wasn't an accident. It was murder, calculated, personal, and deliberate. Police flood the scene. Max Scorpio and Dante Falconeri begin piecing together the details. No fingerprints, no weapon, and no surveillance footage. But there is one clue left behind: Drew Cain's military dog tag. At first, it seems like an odd coincidence. Drew, a decorated Navy SEAL and former Aurora CEO, has never been someone to commit cold-blooded murder. But as evidence begins to mount, the picture gets darker and more damning. Ava Jerome has never been one to shy away from crossing moral lines. Though she's tried to reform, for Avery, for her own peace of mind, she's still a Jerome at heart. And when it comes to self-preservation, Ava always makes sure she stays one step ahead of her enemies. Cyrus had been blackmailing Ava for weeks. Private footage, old mob ties, and a deeply buried secret that could destroy her reputation and cost her Avery. With Nicholas still MIA and her position in Port Charles more precarious than ever, Eva knew she had to silence Cyrus permanently. But she needed help and cover. Portia Robinson is the last person anyone would suspect of conspiring to commit murder. But desperation makes people do unthinkable things. Cyrus knew the truth about Curtis's paralysis, that it wasn't just a tragic accident, but a targeted attack with deeper implications. And worse, he had leverage on Portia from her past dealings with shady clinical trials overseas, a secret that could cost her medical license and her relationship with Curtis. With Cyrus threatening everything she holds dear, Portia found herself spiraling, and Ava saw the perfect opportunity. Together, the two women formed a twisted alliance. Eva would handle the logistics. Portia would provide access, drugs, sedatives, medical-grade toxins that couldn't be traced. It was the perfect plan, until they needed someone to pin it on. Drew Cain is the perfect scapegoat. Strong, brooding, mysterious, and with a history of violent encounters, including his recent fallout with Cyrus after trying to protect Carly and Sonny. Cyrus had been targeting Drew for weeks, trying to provoke him. And while Drew kept his cool, Ava and Portia saw an opening. They planted evidence: Drew's dog tag, a partially burned pair of gloves matching his size, and doctored audio files hinting at a confrontation between him and Cyrus. The icing on the cake? A series of texts from a burner phone, making it look like Drew was luring Cyrus to the warehouse for a final showdown. And it worked. The police bite. As Drew is arrested and thrown behind bars, the people who love him rally hard. Carly is beside herself, convinced that someone's setting him up, but she just doesn't know who. Sam McCall, too, refuses to believe Drew could ever kill in cold blood. The two women team up, forming an unlikely alliance to clear Drew's name. But they're racing against time. The more they dig, the more they realize that something feels off. And all roads start leading back to Ava and Portia. But neither woman is cracking under pressure. Ava plays the grieving friend, shocked by Drew's supposed descent into violence. Portia leans into her professional role, helping Curtis manage the emotional fallout, all while hiding the deadly secret. But secrets never stay buried in Port Charles. Curtis starts noticing subtle changes in Portia: erratic behavior, sleepless nights, cryptic phone calls. At first, he chalks it up to stress, but then he finds something shocking: a medical report that doesn't belong in their house, a sedative vial that was never prescribed, and a photo of Cyrus taken days before his murder. Curtis confronts Portia, and she falters. She tries to lie, but the cracks begin to show. Curtis is heartbroken, confused and furious. Could his wife really be involved in Cyrus's death? And worse, could she have helped frame Drew? Meanwhile, Ava is unraveling. With the police sniffing too close and Curtis starting to question everything, Ava becomes desperate to cover her tracks. She considers eliminating more loose ends, including Carly, who's getting far too close to the truth. In a sinister twist, Ava arranges a staged accident for Carly, hoping to scare her off. But it backfires spectacularly. Carly survives, and now she's more determined than ever to expose Ava's lies. The moment of reckoning arrives when Sam and Carly finally uncover a critical piece of surveillance footage, not from the warehouse, but from a nearby gas station where Ava's car was parked just hours before Cyrus's death. The timestamp blows a hole in Ava's alibi. Portia is dragged in for questioning. Under pressure, she finally cracks. Tearfully, she confesses to her role, insisting she only wanted to protect her family. Ava, cornered, refuses to go down quietly. But it's over.